Hey everyone. Today I want to talk about one of my main go-to forms of cardio, which is, as you can see, jump rope and skipping. Um, I started to jump rope because I was starting to get sore knees from running. I used to jog all the time, and what happened is that over time, my knees would start to get sore because I did it pretty much every day, going miles and miles. And oddly enough, whenever I would go to sit down for a prolonged period of time, my knees would be in pain, both of them. So I decided to switch it up and try something different and introduce different forms of athletic uh, resistance training, different forms of cardio. And one that's stuck with me the most has been skipping. I started off with an $8 rope and it got the job done. I would do it around the house. I would do it on my back deck. And it was great. It was easy. It was cheap. And, it was a fun way to go ahead and try to keep my capacity up for my stamina up to go ahead and be able to perform better on a regular basis. And it's fun, especially when you got some music going. I have no rhythm, and it makes me feel like I have some kind of rhythm if I'm skipping to the beat. So it's like my own form of dance, my own form of exercise that does my whole body, but also keeps my mind engaged, which is, I think, critical. If you're going to stick to something, you got to stick to something that's tough. If it's enjoyable, it definitely makes it easier to just go ahead and stick to that same program. Don't go ahead and try to do all these exercises and routines that you don't enjoy because it makes it that much harder to go back to. So, mixing up the routines, I haven't had knee pains in years and years. I still jog, I just don't do it every day or nearly every day. I go ahead and do it maybe once or twice a week and going a few miles at a time, and I haven't had any problems. I was skipping pretty frequently for a while, and I would sometimes bounce back day after day after day doing it because it was just something I really enjoyed and could get into so easily and quickly, that my ankles started to bother me and sometimes my shoulders. Um, so my ankles feel like they would be a little bit stiff. So again, just variety is really important. I try to do different movements when I'm skipping. I try not to just go with the regular skipping motions. As you can see, I typically do intervals of 500 to 1,000. Take a little break and then do the next 500 to 1,000, depending on how I'm feeling that day, depending on my pace. Um, and I'll start off with 50 regular skips. I'll do 50 side to side. I'll do 20 in and outs. I'll do 1 foot each side for about 50 skips. 50 skips that way. Then I'll run in place, and then I'll repeat that routine and keep my own count in my head, so that way I'm able to keep track that I'm doing anywhere from typically 3 to 5,000 skips, depending on what else I have on my agenda for the day and how much time I have. Um, if I really want to go hard, I could get my heart rate up near 200. And if I want to just go at a more relaxed pace, I could get my heart rate around 130, 140 without breaking too much of a sweat. So it just depends on what I'm going for. If I'm trying to go hard and try to get my VO2 max and my capacity, my lung capacity really going, then I go really hard and I push it. But typically, I just go at a leisurely pace, like you'll see on the left side of the video. I'm not going hard in the middle and on the right side. Actually, I'm going more at a pace that's not very demanding. You'll see I have two different ropes. The newest rope and the one I've been using for the last couple of years is from Cross Rope. So the green rope is a quarter pound, allows me to go faster, a little easier. I could go very quick, and I could even do some double unders here and there. No pro with skipping by any means. I am not an expert with jump rope, but I'm able to go and do a little bit more variety of movements a little bit quicker with the green rope because it's only a quarter pound. The white rope is a half pound, and although I could keep a pretty good pace and sustain it for a while, it's double in weight. And even though it only sounds like a half pound, doesn't sound like much, it definitely wears on your arms and your shoulders, to the point where it's harder to keep that pace for 1,000 skips without skipping a beat. Um, and I love them. They don't get tangled nearly as easily. If you're not an expert with jumping rope, but you have this at the right length for you, I feel like it would definitely work for most people, even if you can't skip with a traditional rope. This one with the added weight, I feel makes it that much easier to go ahead and keep it going for a while. Um, so yeah, I've been doing this for a few years. I really enjoy it, especially with the music going. You'll see I'll have a mat underneath as well. I think that helps the rope last longer. I think over the last couple of years, the ropes have stretched a little bit. Um, it might just be in my mind, but I think they have stretched and got a little bit thinner, and I think that's to be expected because they're high quality for sure. But anything of that kind of material, it's like some kind of synthetic plastic silicone mix. Like I think it's normal for it to stretch over time. I find that when it's cold out, that's when I tend to skip the fastest because the rope is shortest. So when it's hot, I feel like the rope stretches a little bit more, has that much more give to it. So it's harder for me to um, go longer, and I feel like it's easier for me to trip over. But typically, I don't trip over the rope. It's just a little bit easier when it's cold out, and I remember being easier when I first got it. Could be all in my head, but um, it might just be time to try some new ropes and see what that does. Getting the right rope length is crucial to make sure you could keep and maintain that um, skipping for long periods of time without any issues. I do not recommend jumping in just doing 500 to 1,000 skips at a time. I'd recommend trying it for a couple minutes, taking a break, see how you feel. Maybe trying that for 10 to 15 minutes for the first week or so, and then see how it goes from there. Build up, because the last thing you want to do is hurt your ankles, hurt your calves, your shins, any of those muscles in that area. Um, Doing that repeated motion again and again and again, that can definitely lead to other issues. And if you're on your feet every day like I am, that can definitely be a problem. So definitely take it easy if you're going to go ahead and give this a try. Work it and start at a slow pace and just kind of work your way up. And I also suggest just mixing it up. I do some resistance training that's mostly body weight focused. I do jogging still, like I said before. Um, I've incorporated swimming as it's getting warmer outside, because it's trying to do something like skipping or running right now when it's really humid and really hot is that much more difficult. So being able to swim to cool your body off, get your heart rate up, that's a nice way to, take it easy on the joints and also get all that cardio that you would normally get from skipping or running, um, while not melting outside in this crazy heat. So I would definitely urge you to give it a try and see what you think. Um, Try to think if there's any other major points. It might be time for me to get a new rope. My wife has this one rope that she's tried that is broken in the middle. So it's like you have 1 foot of rope in each hand to hold with a little weight on the end, like a ball. So that way you could get that jumping rope sensation, but you don't have to worry about tripping over the rope because it's cut. It's only 1 foot long that you hold in each hand, and you're just spinning that and jumping. And my daughter uses it too, and that's just something that you can work your way up to getting into jumping rope, because it does take some time to build the rhythm and get the technique down. And then that's what's fun about it, is you can challenge yourself to try to get better and better and doing these different tricks and things and having different movements. It gets really fun going fast and then slow and working to the beat. And you could bring it anywhere with you. You could go, like I'm doing in the back deck. You could go in your living room. You can go take it to the basketball court, to a gym, on vacation, staying with family. As long as there's not someone underneath you on the bottom floor, then you're fine. You could go for it, and you probably only need about 8 or 9 feet of clearance above you, because the rope, when you're going up, it obviously depends on how tall you are or how long your rope is, but it really is practical, and you can bring it anywhere with you. So definitely give it a try. If you need any hints, ideas, I'm no expert. I'll be glad to give you some pointers if you've never done it before. Please excuse my messy deck. Um, it's a work in progress, but I just wanted to go ahead and put this out there so you guys could see something that is minimal for investment and can be a huge return in terms of cardio and building your overall athletic performance. All right. Well, hope you guys all have a great night. And thank you for tuning in.